The final round of the 2026 Cadillac Championship was supposed to deliver high drama, elite shot-making, and a thrilling finish worthy of a $20 million event. Instead, much of the conversation among fans shifted away from the leaderboard and toward a growing frustration with how the tournament was broadcast. What should have been a showcase moment for the PGA Tour turned into yet another flashpoint in the ongoing debate over golf television coverage. Weather had already complicated matters. Storm threats forced organizers to adjust tee times earlier in the day, compressing the schedule and leaving broadcasters with a tighter window to deliver live action. Golf Channel stepped in with coverage from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, while CBS opted for a tape-delayed broadcast beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That meant the live window provided by Golf Channel was the only opportunity for fans to watch the climax of the tournament unfold in real time. Given those circumstances, viewers expected a focused, uninterrupted broadcast that captured every critical moment. Instead, what they got felt fragmented. Commercial breaks repeatedly cut into live play, often at the worst possible times, leaving audiences scrambling to piece together what they had missed. One fan summed up the frustration perfectly in a widely shared social media post. They described how the broadcast jumped erratically between shots, squeezed in brief stretches of full coverage, then quickly returned to commercials. Key moments, like individual shots from contenders, were either skipped entirely or shown without context. Analysis segments stretched on while live action slipped away in the background. This issue wasn't isolated to a single moment. It became a recurring pattern throughout the final round. Just as the tension on the course began to build, viewers were pulled away by another ad break. When coverage returned, the narrative had already moved forward, leaving fans disconnected from the flow of the competition. The timing made the situation even more frustrating. Cameron Young entered Sunday with a commanding 6-shot lead at 19 under par, putting him in position to chase a dominant victory. Behind him, a tightly packed group of challengers, including Scottie Scheffler, Si-Woo Kim, and Christopher Wrighton, were all within striking distance, tied at 9 under. With so much at stake, every swing, putt, and decision carried weight. In a tournament like this, momentum shifts can happen in an instant. A single missed putt or unexpected birdie can reshape the leaderboard and alter the psychological dynamics among players. Fans tuning in expected to witness those moments as they happened. Instead, they often learn about them after the fact, either through quick replays or commentary summaries. The frustration was amplified by the fact that this wasn't a new problem. Viewers pointed out that similar issues had plagued coverage of previous events. Even earlier rounds of the same tournament had suffered from incomplete broadcasts. On Saturday, coverage didn't begin until noon, despite tee times starting in the early morning. By the time cameras went live, several notable players had already completed their rounds, leaving entire performances undocumented on television. This pattern extends beyond a single tournament. Golf fans have increasingly voiced concerns about how the sport is presented on TV. At the 2025 Chevron Championship, for example, coverage delays meant audiences missed significant portions of early round action. In another instance, streaming coverage began well after the final groups had already teed off, creating a disconnect between the live event and the viewing experience. The issue isn't just about timing, it's also about priorities. Many fans feel that broadcasters rely too heavily on commercials and studio commentary at the expense of live action. While advertising revenue is an unavoidable part of sports broadcasting, viewers argue that the balance has tipped too far. When commercials begin to overshadow the competition itself, the viewing experience suffers. Some reactions were blunt and unfiltered. One viewer called the broadcast television malpractice, expressing disbelief at the frequency and timing of the ad breaks. Another sarcastically suggested that the network seemed more interested in commercials than golf. Others criticized the commentary, noting that extended discussions in the booth often replaced live coverage of shots that actually mattered. There's also a broader question about how golf is packaged for modern audiences. Unlike faster-paced sports, golf unfolds over several hours, with multiple players competing simultaneously across a sprawling course. This creates unique challenges for broadcasters, who must decide which shots to show and when. However, fans argue that those challenges make it even more important to prioritize continuous, well-coordinated coverage. The playing through format, where commercials run alongside a smaller live feed, was designed as a compromise solution. In theory, it allows viewers to continue watching the action while ads are displayed. In practice, many fans feel it falls short. The reduced screen size and lack of commentary during these segments make it difficult to follow the nuances of each shot, especially during crucial moments. Sunday's final round highlighted these shortcomings in a very visible way. With a compressed schedule and heightened stakes, there was little margin for error. Every interruption felt magnified. Each missed shot added to the growing sense that viewers weren't getting the full story of the tournament. Another layer to the frustration is the financial context. Networks pay enormous sums for broadcasting rights, and fans are well aware of it. That investment creates an expectation of high-quality coverage, one that matches the prestige and scale of the events themselves. When the product on screen doesn't meet those expectations, criticism is inevitable. For players, these moments represent the pinnacle of their profession. Years of preparation and effort culminate in performances that deserve to be seen and appreciated. When key shots go unseen or are overshadowed by commercials, it doesn't just frustrate fans, it also diminishes the visibility of the athletes themselves. The issue also raises questions about the future of golf broadcasting. As viewing habits evolve and digital platforms gain prominence, there may be opportunities to rethink how coverage is delivered. Streaming services, for instance, could offer more flexible viewing options, allowing fans to follow specific groups or players without interruption. Enhanced data integration and multi-screen experiences could also help address some of the limitations of traditional broadcasts. However, any meaningful change will require a shift in priorities. Networks must find ways to balance commercial demands with the core purpose of sports coverage, showing the game. That might involve rethinking ad placement, investing in more comprehensive production strategies, or exploring alternative revenue models that reduce reliance on frequent interruptions. For now, the frustration among fans continues to build. Social media has amplified these concerns, giving viewers a platform to share their experiences and hold broadcasters accountable. Each high-profile misstep adds to the pressure for change. The 2026 Cadillac Championship should have been remembered for its competitive drama and standout performances. Instead, it became another example of how broadcast decisions can shape, and sometimes undermine, the way fans experience the sport. As the PGA Tour moves forward, the challenge is clear. Delivering world-class golf isn't enough, it must also be presented in a way that does justice to the action. Fans don't just want highlights or summaries, they want to be there for every pivotal moment, every clutch putt, every turning point. Until their expectation is consistently met, the conversation around golf coverage is unlikely to quiet down. The question isn't whether fans will keep voicing their frustrations, they already are. The real question is how long it will take for broadcasters to respond in a meaningful way.